can I enjoy my life just as I do when I'm on vacation? In this video, you're going to learn how. Hi, this is Vasudevan, author of Follow Your Heart, Your Brain is Stupid. This channel is dedicated to those who wish to take charge and to create for themselves a life of happiness, peace, and freedom. We feature interviews, snippets, and stories which you can relate to, introspect, and take action in your life to achieve what you desire. In this episode of the Heart to Heart Chat Show, we feature an intimate conversation with Ramesh, who's going to share with us how he achieved his dream to create a life of vacation. So stay tuned. And if you are one of those who are caught in the classical dilemma of whether to listen to your heart and follow your passion, or whether to listen to your brain and follow the logical safe path, this video is for you. Watch this video till the very end. Let's jump right into the interview. Welcome to my chat show, Ramesh. It's a pleasure having you here, and thanks a lot for accepting my invitation.
Thanks, Vasu. It's wonderful to be with you. I mean, we connected once when we were in Delhi, and trust me, we just hit it off. Yeah, I mean, we
Absolutely.
both think alike, so I guess
Yes.
that's what makes us friends.
Yes. In fact, that was when I decided that I have to feature you in my chat show.
Thank you.
Okay. Viewers, we have with us today Ramesh, who has worked in multiple industries like BPO, training, and hospitality. And he has traveled widely and has been in and out of the country also. Probably it was because of his exposure to the hospitality industry that he made it his dream to make his life a vacation. You heard right. He wanted to make his life a vacation. Right? Today, he is well settled in Wayanad with his wife. He's having one heck of a life. He's enjoying his life. We all enjoy vacations. We look forward to vacations, right? What if each day of us can become a vacation? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, that is exactly what Ramesh has created for himself and his wife, and they are enjoying their life together. We are going to learn from Ramesh how did he achieve something which we all wish for. So watch this video till the very end. I'm sure you're going to love it. So Ramesh, we are all eagerly, waiting to hear from you. How did you create this vacation life for yourself, and what has been your journey? Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Vasu, for all your kind words. First of all, I would like to say that I heard you say that everybody will learn from me, but trust me, we just need to look inwards. We learn from ourselves. That's what I did. When I say inwards, I just follow my heart, and I do whatever I feel. It keeps me and my family happy. Okay.
Right.
It also, first of all, my name is Ramesh. I am a native of Kerala, so that's one more reason why I choose Wayanad. Of course, other reasons would be it's very beautiful. It's the weather is one of the best in the country, I would say, and it's been 5 years now that we have settled here in Wayanad, me and my wife. I was based out of Bangalore, and like Vasu said earlier, I was working in the line of education for a long time. Prior to that, I was a hotelier, which took me places. I used to travel in and around East Africa, the SAARC countries, and we love traveling. Okay, I used to travel on work. My wife used to travel on work. She was a trainer herself, and we saw how beautiful life is when we are in and out of hotels. So that's when we
Hmm.
decided, why not have a place of our own, which will be a resort of our own. Okay, a very small place. And I must say, the most turning point happened when our daughter, Salona, she is now in Germany. She works there. She went there to study, and she chose Germany. And thanks to the German government, they provide free education. I'm sure we all know that. So we just needed to take care of her living expenses and the travel. So that
Wonderful.
again added to our comfort. And
Hmm.
both me and my wife, we decided, we had a good talk, and we decided and said, why should we hang on in the city, which has of course given us a lot in all our years? Uh, why should we hang on there instead of going out and enjoying ourselves? Let's travel. And traveling again, it incurs a lot of expenses. So we sat down and did a budget of our own, and we came upon this idea of Wayanad, which is reasonable as far as real estate is concerned. So we came here, we saw the place, we liked it, and the place liked us as well and welcomed us. And here we are for the last 5 years, and our dream of retiring at 50 came true.
Wow, wonderful. Ramesh, what all our viewers would be looking forward to learning from you is when you decided, when you said this is going to be my dream, what were the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome those challenges?
Good question. There's nothing without any challenges, and
Right.
the best part we did was kept a very open mind. The biggest challenge which we had was the medical. Okay, in India is a beautiful country. We have a lot of countryside. However, we have a challenge with medical system. Okay, that's why most of them still stay around in the cities. As we grow older, doctors are the one we visit the most. Yeah, so we didn't want that. So the biggest challenge was we had a mother-in-law with us. She was 80 plus. She was undergoing dialysis in Bangalore, and we spoke to her as well. How about shifting to Wayanad? We constructed the house, and she was all game for it. When the dialysis started, the doctors in Bangalore gave us 6 months' time. We came here to Wayanad, and the challenge was we had to drive till Mysore to get a dialysis done. That's 3 hours one way. So every day I used to drive, every alternate days I used to drive 6 hours. And she also had no issues doing that. It took some time before we got a slot in Wayanad. And trust me, the 6 months which the doctor gave, she lived up for the next 2 years happily. She's no more with us. May her soul rest in peace.
Super.
And another challenge, of course, is the budgeting. Both me and my wife, we had to understand that we will not be having a regular income coming in once we're out of the city. And I'm a very strong believer in Indian story. Okay, I always believe India is going to boom. And it's not today that I started believing this. And at the age of 30, actually, we started an SIP into the mutual funds. Okay, and that really, really paid off when we needed the most. And today we live off our systematic transfer plan. We withdraw the money and we live happily with that money. We don't do any work now other than we grow our own vegetables, we grow our own fruits, and we live in the nature.
How many of us really plan what we need to do for our future? And if you started an SIP at the age of 30, I started much later. That's where the planning comes into play. Dreams will remain dreams otherwise, unless you are so clear about your dream and you are convinced and you want to go all out for it. The next step is, how do you plan for it? What are the things that you need to do? And that's what you did, and that's what has given you this vacation life, if I may use that word. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have an advisor who advised me to have a very good health policy, which is the most important medical policy. And then we have enough time on our hands now, so we take care of our health. And with God's grace, we are very healthy. I used to have a blood pressure tablets when in Bangalore. Now I'm off the tablets. So that's another very good news that good lifestyle has given me.
Right. Ramesh, I think you are right now, this recording you are right at your place, right? At Wayanad.
Yes.
Would you like to pan your camera a bit so that people can really relate to what you are saying?
Of course, I can. I hope it is clear.
Yes.
Because we know, I'm staying in a village, so a few challenges. Of course, we have an excellent Wi-Fi here.
Okay.
That's
Super.
our house.
Wonderful.
Right.
Lovely.
And it's a nice property that we have, and we have some rubber estates here. You see the rubber right there?
Yeah.
And we are just about 250 meters away from the forest.
Yeah, in fact, you had shared with me a video where the previous day some elephants had come by within about 100 meters from your house, right?
Yes. In fact, I have seen wild elephants from my bedroom. Okay. And trust me, they are not at all harmful. And you respect them, they respect you. I hope the view was clear. I tried to go as slow as possible.
It was nice. I'm sure viewers, you would have got some idea about the type of life that Ramesh is leading now, and I'm sure most of us would give anything to step into his shoes and enjoy what he's having. That's wonderful.
Very true, Vasu, because we need to take a decision at some point of time. Both me and my wife actually are strong believers of we need to decluster the cities.
Right.
If you see what's happening in most of our metro cities today across the world, okay, there are a lot of issues. So when we are out of our productive age, I think we should move out and give the youngsters a space. So that's what we can do from our side. However, we would also want the government to make sure that medical facilities are available in the smaller cities. So it's both ways. So we work towards that.
Right. Ramesh, I am going to make one statement. I would want to ask you whether you agree with that. See,
Sure.
whatever we are today, whatever we have achieved, whatever, whether it's materialistic or emotional or spiritual, whatever we have achieved today is based on the decisions that we have made in the past, right? And whatever we are going to be tomorrow and in the future is going to be based on the decisions which we make today.
True.
However, what most of us experience is at that point of making the decision, we struggle. We always have that conflict. Whether should I do this or should I do that? Should I do a job? Whether should I do a business? Should I marry this person or should I marry that person? Should I move to this country or should I not? Any of these decisions, most of us experience a lot of stress in our mind. So, what is your take on this? And why do you think this is happening? I have my own views. I'm going to share with the viewers later. However, I would like to hear from you. What are your views on that? Why is that conflict happening? Why do we get stressed out when we want to make some bold decisions?
I'm no different from the rest of us here, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Everybody goes through this, including me. If I didn't, I would be Lord Buddha. So I'll tell you a short experience that made me change the way I think. This was way back in, I guess, 2005. Sorry, 2005. I used to work in Middle East. I used to work in Muscat, and I was down in Bangalore, and we were having a house constructed. So I was talking to a mason who was working in our house, and I told him, please hurry up the work. I need to see the house at least completed before I go back to Muscat, because after which I need to take another 1 year before I come back. So he was like, why are you going there, sir? Why don't you work here? I said, no, my money is there. My bread is there, right? I need to earn my money there. So that's where I'm going. He said, fair enough. We also earn here. And he told me one thing which just hit me. He said, you have your apple and grapes in different country all by yourself or with your immediate family only. Whereas we here sit with our family, the big group of family and friends, and have bananas. He says that's more tasty. Okay, and that really hit me.
That was really profound. And
yes, and I must tell you, I must be one of the very few who was doing well in the Middle East. I used to work for the Ministry of Defense in Oman. I resigned my job. People were shocked there because nobody resigns a government job there. I resigned the job and came to India.
Getting a government job itself is so difficult. It's almost next to impossible. And you resign from a well-paying job, right?
I resigned that and came to India. And trust me, I struggled there. It's not that it was easy. I joined the call center because that was a booming industry. And I worked there for about 3 years, where I was one of the seniors because my age was around 30 plus. And you know, the contact in the call centers, they're all 20 plus kids, right? So it was not easy for me to gel with them. Even the HR, when they recruited me, when they had interviewed me, they were like, would you be able to manage with the crowd? I said, let me in and I'll walk with them. And trust me, what I did there was something which was amazing, and I feel very happy and proud about it. I saw the youngsters, they were spending their money left, right, center. They make money, they blow it up in all kind of things every weekend. I got a few of them to start investing. Even today, they call me to say, thank you, Ramesh, for doing that for us. It makes me feel very good. Very small way of contributing.
Absolutely.
So what I would say is everybody goes through this challenge of not knowing what to do, when to stop. Well, I guess end of the month, if we still have money in our pocket to buy what we feel like buying, I think we are rich enough. Otherwise, rich is a definition which nobody can actually define.
Right. Could you share with our viewers? And I'm see the objective of this whole chat show is to help our viewers relate to experiences of the guests that I invite to this chat show, so that they are able to feel, yes, this is something very similar which happened in with that person, and the same thing I am going through. So it could help them take those decisions in a better way, or the right decisions, I may say so. So, if you could share with us, are there some other decisions? It could be at a personal level, it could be at a business level, or a professional level, where you took some decisions and it worked out well for you. And how did you go about making those decisions? Yeah, if you can share a couple of instances from your life.
Sure. Like I said, we were in Bangalore and we were very happy with the job that we were doing, both me and my wife. And our daughter got her admission in Germany. She was doing a master's there.
Mhm.
And when she left, she just said one thing: Papa, you have given me enough, right? You've given me a good education. You're funding even for my master's. I think that's it. Now I would like to be on my own. And that made a lot of sense actually. Because why don't we even, what do you call it, start believing that our kids are smarter than us? They'll do better than us.
Mhm.
So who are we making more money for? Okay. I mean, I know it sounds a little tough, but there is a saying: after a certain age, we make money for the doctors. We don't make money for
Right.
ourselves.
Mhm.
And most of us, I'm sure, we go through this. So we have to live with the nature, and we have to live a very peaceful life. I used to wake up to an alarm clock all my life. Last 5 years, I don't have an alarm clock in my house. To be honest, we don't even have a clock in our house.
That is real vacation because
Yeah,
you see, whenever we go on vacation, we take sometimes we carry our laptops, we'll carry our mobile phones, and even though you're on a 10-day vacation, in our mind, it's all the job is there or the business could be there.
correct.
This is true life of vacation, where you
And
don't even
trust me,
have
Vasu.
a clock at your place. Wonderful. And this is
Sorry, and
amazing.
trust me, Vasu. One more thing is we are not missing out on anything,
Mm.
because if you do the right investment at the right time, you take a right decision to move out. Life is much easier. Like for example, I'll tell you the kind of electric bill that one pays in a major city, okay, in a metro city. That's half my month's expenses in this village.
Right.
Okay, so we don't need much to be happy. That's all we need to tell ourselves. Now we can accumulate things. You could drive the best of the cars. You can do whatever you want to,
Mm.
but what makes you happy is what is most important. So if you want to take a decision at that particular time, I would say stop thinking much and just follow your heart. It'll take you there.
You said what I believe in 100%. However, 6 years back, that was not the case. I always used to think with my brain. I always used to pride myself in being a very, very logical person. In fact, I would say about 90% of people think with their brain. But what happens is the brain is very logical. The brain will always try to protect you. And this is something which viewers we all need to understand, because we think the brain is there to make us successful, make us happy, make us fulfill, etc. That is absolutely wrong. The brain has got no business. The brain doesn't care about your happiness or fulfillment, or your success or anything. All that it cares about is to protect you. It's a survival mechanism. It's like your bodyguard. If it's your bodyguard, what will a bodyguard do? His bodyguard's job is to protect you. So obviously, the bodyguard will try to make sure that nothing changes in your life. Because
You
if
said it.
things change in your life, you had it. The bodyguard's job becomes that much more complicated and difficult. So the brain will try to make sure that everything is status quo. And whenever you want to make some decision, like what you want, you made those decisions to leave a beautiful job in the Gulf and come back, the brain would have tried to stop you. He said, Ramesh, what's wrong with you? How can you do this? It will create that fear in you. It will create that anxiety, the stress in you. And invariably, most people succumb to that because the brain doesn't know what you really want. The brain is going to make those decisions based on what happened in the past. That's all it knows. Whereas the heart knows what you actually want. In fact, there's a quote by Steve Jobs. This is a right time to share with our viewers also. He says, Steve Jobs, this is a very nice quote. I like this quote. He says, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become. This is a quote by Steve Jobs. It's not my own quote, okay? If we are able to understand this, that the heart will always lead you to your authentic self. The job of the heart, the job of the brain are totally different. And if we are able to understand this, then you will be able to leverage on these power of the heart and the power of the brain very well. Because at the end of the day, the heart wants to take you somewhere, the brain is trying to stop you. But if you take the decision listening to your heart, yes, you do a little bit of research like what you did, planning for what you want to do, what your heart is trying to asking you to do, and then you take the decision, then the solution the brain will provide it will, because it now doesn't know what to do. It doesn't have a choice now, because you have made that decision, and it'll work around and create and give you the right path, the right steps to reach that goal. The problem is, whenever we want to do something, we start thinking about the how and why and when and all that, and we get completely bogged down in that, in the what you call the tactical aspects of that decision. We then start feeling, now I don't think it's right for me. Why should I upset the apple cart? Let's, everything is working perfect. Why, if I fail, what will happen to my family, to me, or whatever? And then we give up. And this is what I realized about 5-6 years ago, that at least I realized it 6 years ago, right? Better late than never. But invariably this happens with most of us. And this, if we are able to understand and be able to know that, okay, this is what my brain is saying, this is what my heart is saying, and then balance out this, you'll be able to make the right decision. This is my view, and I've been practicing that to in my life, and it has worked very well.
Yeah, from what you said, I can only say one small thing. I have been a very impulsive guy all my life. Okay, and it's paid off most of the time. So let's say 9 out of 10 times it's paid off. So why should I worry about it once when I'll fail? And about the brain and the heart that you were talking about, I totally agree with what you say, because brain is more slave to the society.
Yes.
It sees around what's happening, and it wants you to have that standard, the status, whatever you call it. Whereas your heart is totally linked to you. It understands what you want. Okay,
Right.
so happiness comes from the heart. Logical thinking comes from the mind.
And this is the realization that most of us are not able to get. And I did a lot of research on this. There are umpteen number of research studies which clearly say the heart is far more powerful than the brain. When the baby is in the one mother's womb, the heart is the first organ to be formed, and it's the heart which tells the brain what to do, and not the other way around. And we all think it's the other way, right? That's something which we understand. We will be able to achieve much more than what we have achieved when we just work with our brain.
True.
One last question, Ramesh, is supposing you were given the option that you can rewind your life completely and start all over again, what would you have done differently? I don't intend to put you in a spot, but
very, very tough questions, but I
yes.
totally believe in the butterfly effect. Okay,
Butterfly effect. What's that?
Yes. So if we make one small change, the whole life changes.
Yes.
One small life change, the whole life changes. Trust me, I'm happy the way I am. Okay, I've not thought about it what would I have changed and what would have been better?
Right.
Maybe what I would say, now I retired at 50. If I had planned earlier, maybe 40 would have been the right age.
Okay.
Because I believe retire when you're still alive, when you can still walk, when you can still run, when you can still climb.
Yes.
Otherwise, what's the point of all the money that you will have in your bank account when you can't do anything with it? It's a piece of paper. These
Absolutely.
days, it's not even paper; it's all virtual.
Yes.
You don't even get to feel the money, right? So it's just numbers. After a certain point, all those zeros are just numbers. Okay, so yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never thought about it. What I would change, because maybe I would be very happy to say I'm happy the way it is.
Good. I mean, I know it was not a very easy question, and
Yeah.
most of us wouldn't have. We don't even think about what we want to do in the future. Where we will think that if something, if I had to the opportunity, what would I have done to it? I know it is, and I did the disclaimer when I said I know I didn't want to put you in a spot when I asked that question. Fair enough,
Yeah.
and I completely agree with what you said. Now, if I would request one thing from you, what are one or two thoughts that you would like to leave with our viewers whenever it comes to say taking any decision in their life? What should they do?
Well, it depends on what kind of a decision that would be, and
Right.
I totally agree. It all depends on the situation one is in. Okay, but if you're talking of a retirement and a happy life, okay, what I would say is just make a budget within you, with your family, a budget which is good enough for you to sustain a very, very good standard of living that you're living presently. You can't compromise on that. Let's accept it. Money is very important in life. I would be very foolish if I say you don't need money to live. Of course you do.
Yes.
Okay, it's very, very important, and we have not compromised one bit on our standard of living. In fact, we have only increased it. We have only bettered it. And there are a lot of investments and work that you can do these days from wherever you are. Okay, so if you can, why don't you start taking a longer vacations? Okay, when I say longer vacations, maybe a 3-month vacation or a 6 months vacation. Travel to a remote area where you still have access to your internet, and you start trying it out. If it works, settle in one of the places and leave the city for the youngsters. Trust me, they need to be there.
Right.
But they need to make a living, they need to make their education. Let's declutter the cities. It helps.
Fantastic. Great. So, viewers, I'm sure you would have enjoyed this particular episode, and I'm sure you would have picked up some things which you could relate to and use it to create the vacation life that Ramesh has done. If you got value from this content, do consider liking this video as well as subscribing to our channel. And if you have any specific questions, want some suggestions, you want to share give some suggestions, please post your comments and I'll be happy to revert to you within 48 hours. And that's a promise. Before I leave, I want to share a beautiful quote, which I don't know who's the author. He says, life is not about the breaths you take, but about the moments that take your breath away.
Breath away. Yeah.
So, viewers, thanks a lot for joining this. Find this a very, very profound quote. I love it. And I try to live by this as much as possible. And my suggestion to you is do this. Don't get bogged down with the money, the aspect. Those are all required, as Ramesh said. They are very, very important. However, that's not going to give you the true happiness and fulfillment that you are seeking. Money is required for that comfort, that standard of living, all that is fine, but it's not going to give you that ultimate pleasure, the joy that we are all seeking. Okay, that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. And Ramesh, once again, thank you very much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you here. It was wonderful to learn from you how you have created this life of vacation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And
Thanks a lot.
thank you.
Bye bye.